شريك له ولحن وحيدين نحن له مسلمون لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ولحن وحيدين نحن له عابدون اللهم صل على مصطفى محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل
وعلى
محمد
علي وبيت فاطمة وستين سيدنا علي حسن والحسين وصل يا رب على زين الدين علي وباقي محمد وصل جعفر وقاد موسى وريد علي وتاكي محمد وناقي علي أزاكي على صنع أسكاري ورتو كاين وصاحب والأزمان اللهم اجعلنا من أنصار المهاجرين تقي الله
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
قال الله تعالى في مقام الكتاب وعزيز بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تل آيات الله نتلوها عليه بالحق وما الله يريدون ظلما للعالمين صدق الله عليه العظيم. Allah Azza says in the Holy Quran, these are the communications of Allah which we recite to you with truth. And Allah does not desire any injustice to His creatures. SubhanAllah, Allah is just with truth. That's what we was talking about in the first sermon as people was missing. We was talking about how man is always in search of justice for himself and his family. But through the justice that we receive from man is true justice or true injustice. But we was coming to the conclusion that the justice in which we receive from man is true injustice. And only Allah can really give true justice, or Amen, most likely. So, he who wrongs Allah's servants, Allah will be his enemy besides his servants. So, we see now Allah, if you wrong Allah's servants, now you become the enemy of Allah and the servants also. So now you have a big enemy, you have small enemies like us. No. And he whose enemy is Allah will be condemned and punished in this world and in the world to come. So I don't think any of us want to be an enemy of Allah, I don't think. You know, unless they have some renegade people out there that just don't care. They just live for now, thinking that there's no life to come. And it's crazy because there's no logic in that. If that was the case, why would we live such a short life? Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam. He said, Allah takes the revenge of an unjust from another unjust person. You see this? When we see this? If somebody treats somebody unjust, prime example, when we see an unjust ruler, what happens? Another unjust ruler comes and kills him. Right? We see this all the time. Here it is, Imam Baqir said that Allah takes revenge of an unjust from another unjust person. He said, it is in accordance with the verse. And thus do we make some of the iniquitous to rule upon others on account of what they earned. I didn't say Allah said it. The Imam said it. Right? We see it all the time. One unjust person always gets taken out by another unjust person. All the time. We never really notices it, right? We never really notice it until afterwards. That when you are a bad person yourself, another bad person will take you out because there's always a person badder than you. There's always a God sufferer. Much worse than you. It's part of law. In another hadith, Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam, he narrated that the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi salam said, he said, I curse 7 types of people who have also been cursed by Allah and by every prophet. That's deep right there. You know, the point about getting cursed by Allah is the hardest one. By every prophet, SubhanAllah, that's a lot of curses, you know. That type of curses, there's no way of getting out that hellfire with this type of curse, you know. Then he go on. When asked who these people were, he, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, replied, they are the ones who add something to the book of Allah, the ones who belie and reject the decree of Allah, the ones who oppose my practice, the ones who unlawfully usurp the divine position according to my household. Let me see a lot of these guys. Which Allah has prohibited. He said the one who seizes power forcefully and controls people high-handedly, honoring those whom Allah has abased and abasing those whom Allah has honored. You see this? The one seizes for himself the booty belonging to the Muslims, attributing its acquisitions to himself, and the one who forbids that which Allah has deemed lawful. This is definitely a tyrant. This is a person that's going to be cursed from Allah and all the prophets. Now, that's the point. Are we any of these? Do we fall into these categories? Inshallah, we don't. I don't think any of us want to be cursed by our peers, let alone Allah's with Allah, or let alone all the prophets, 124,000 prophets. That is a lot of curses. This is a person that's unjust. Inshallah, we don't be these type of people, or this type of person. Imam Ali alayhi salam said,
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
In his will to his son Al-Hussein alayhi salam, he said, I advise you to be wary of the duties to Allah in wealth and poverty. Remember, it all depends, wealth and poverty, how you may react. Because in wealth, you may treat other people bad. In poverty, you may need these people. Right? You see it? He said, and I advise you of being just towards both friends and foes. Friends and foes. Be just. We see this also with Imam Hussein. I'm going to get off the point. Talk about with Imam Hussein. Because during the time when his father was at war with the Kharajites, right? And he had took somebody into captivity, which we all know who it is. And he was the guy that he had in captivity, he was in pain because of the cage in which he was in. And he asked Imam Hussein, can he ask his father to let him go because he's in pain? He can't deal with this type of torture of being in his cage. So the Imam went to his father and asked him, and the Imam said, do you know who this is? He said, this is the guy that's going to kill you. And this was. But the point is, here it is, he's telling him to be kind to either friends or foe. Because of the average person, if we knew the person that was going to assassinate us or kill us in the future, we would take him out right then. So, oh, this ain't never getting that far. I'm taking this guy out right here. Right? Right? We would do that. So that's it. He will not see the next moment. But the Imam, even though the guy was uncomfortable, he showed justice to him and asked his father to let him free. You don't know who this is. Shimmer. I'm not cursing. This is who the person was. Imam Jafar Sadiq said,
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
He who wrongs people cannot be counted as a Shia, followers of Imam. So we're the Shia of Ali, we cannot wrong people because we are on a higher standard. We're not on that lower standard as these other guys. We're on a much higher standard than them. And if we treat people unjustly, we cannot be considered followers of Aqli Bey, as the Imam has said. Inshallah, we're in the blessed month of Shaban. Alhamdulillah. The second day of Shaban. And inshallah, hopefully we fast yesterday if we have known it was here and get the benefits of the fast. I just want to talk about some daily amals in which we could do every day during this blessed month of Shaban to reap the benefits of this month. One of the things in which it says, is a general thing, it said to say it daily 70 times, Astaghfirullah wa asaluhu tawabba. To say this 70 times, there's benefits in that. Another thing it said, to say daily, it says, Astaghfirullah alladhi la ilaha illallah wa hayyu ar-Rahman ar-Rahim ar-Rahman ar-Rahim al-Hayyu Qayyum wa antubu ilayh. It said, it appears from the reports that it is best prayer in this month. This right here. It is seek forgiveness and seeking pardon 70 times during this month equals seeking pardon 70,000 times in other months. Just by saying astaghfirullah alladhi la ilaha illahu wa ilahu ar-Rahman ar-Rahim al-Hayyu Qayyum wa antubu ilayh 70 times daily is better than saying you'll be seeking pardon 70,000 times in other months. That's the equivalent. It's another thing is, he who gives charity in this month, even if it is half a day, you know, he took a bite of steak, right? Allah forgives the fire of hell to touch his body, forbids the fire of hell to touch his body. This is share something as a date, piece of date. So when asked about the excellence of fast of the month of Rajab, Jafar Sadiq stated, they are unmindful of the fast of Shaban. Because we always talk about Rajab, but we forget about Shaban. He said they are unmindful of the fast of Shaban. He said we are unmindful of this. Next thing is that, and the last thing I'm going to end, if I can get my papers not sticking, is that a person present said, persons present there asked him the excellence of fasting during Shaban. This is the continuation of the hadith. He replied, by Allah, its reward is heaven. Asked, what was the best form of prayer in the month? He named charity and seeking forgiveness from Allah. He said that if a person gives charity during Shaban, Allah nourishes it as humans nourishes the calf of a camel, and it will meet the donor of the day of judgment in a state in which it would have grown in size of a mountain of Uhud. That's a big mountain. That's giving a charity and seeking forgiveness in this month. The benefit, this is the justice of Allah. This is the justice. Because the little things in which we do, Allah recompenses us with much larger things. Right? Man, if we do something good, He's trying to give you something small. Like, how you want to take this? This is good. Don't worry about it. Allah, we do something small, but it's so large in rewards for the man. The next thing is said, during the whole month, 1,000 times, you say this 1,000 times, La ilaha illallah wa la ba'ad, you gotta excuse me, I don't have my glasses on. La ilaha illallahu wa la na'abudu ila iyahu mukhlisina lahu din wa lahu kari hal mushrikun. Said this recitation carried great rewards, including rewards for worshiping of 1,000 years. And the last thing in which I'm going to say, I'm going to end this, it said, on every Thursday of this month, recite 2 rakats. In each rakat, after chapter Al-Hamd, recite chapter Al-Ikhlas 100 times. And 100 salawats on completion of the 2 rakats. So that Allah may fulfill all His wishes. Secular and spiritual. We got a whole bunch of them. More secular, I guess, than spiritual. Keeping fast on Thursdays of the month also carries great significance. It has been reported that the heavens are decorated each Thursday in the month of Shaban, and the angels pray to Allah to forgive all those who fast on that day, and their prayers are accepted. We could fast on Thursday. That's easy, right? It is stated in a report of a narration of the Holy Prophet that whoever fasts on Monday and Thursdays of this month, Allah will fulfill 20 of His worldly wishes and 20 of His wishes of the hereafter. And the last thing is recite salawat many times. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن نزلنا في كوس إلى الذين آمنوا وآمنوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر وآخر دعوانا والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة على محمد وآله الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.